Welcome to all of you that are present here with me today. This is a collective message, and I am reading at a time when we are moving towards the new moon in Cancer. So this buildup is natural. New moons contain an energy of the dark of the moon, and that is a time when nothing really moves forward productively. It is a time for gratitude, for giving thanks for the cycle that is completed. So we're moving towards that energy presently, and I am anticipating this as I recognize that I am experiencing some of the energy of this new moon already. And many of you that are with me today are also experiencing this energy, which is, I would describe as ways in which we are redefining and resetting our emotional experience, our emotional intelligence. We're allowing the wisdom that has been gathered through self-study, through overcoming challenges, through the understanding that we must release the past, which contains these old versions of ourselves in order to move forward. But the way we're moving forward has changed. And for many of you, this change is the way in which you understand literally surrendering now in a way that's different, because you've matured. You've grown. You've seen the futility of the way that you attempt to release the past or let go of the past, and how many of the experiences of the past keep cycling through. It's as though you can't find release. And also, for many of you, you're aware that as you've been working on this particular kind of healing for some time, aware that healings don't start and stop. There's no hard stop to these. These are ongoing processes that we continually revisit as we grow, so that the way our challenges look or the way we're holding on to energies that are not serving us starts looking different. So this is really intended to help you reflect on your pursuit of your individual power. And specifically, I'm thinking about your magic, because this is about your intuition, how your intuition helps you not overthink, but allows you the greater capacity to feel your experiences. And it is around the heart that we are particularly focused in many ways for many of you, and also other aspects of your spiritual evolution are absolutely involved, of course. But this feels as though it's focusing on your heart, and for some of you on your divine connection, how you've chosen or been chosen to come back and share some enlightenment with others. So I'm going to start with the Soul's Journey Tarot, and I pulled the Empathy card. I'm open to seeing both sides of a situation. This description is a bit limited for what I'm experiencing, but in my meditation before this reading, I saw a beautiful calligraphic scribe, a message, words written. The words were unintelligible, but the idea that they were written by hand is important. And they were written on what looked like a stone tablet, perhaps. They were formed out of the rocks that surrounded it. And the color of the words were what was so dramatic. They were similar to the color of the Empathy card, but they were a more neon kind of lilac, lavender color, some kind of a vibrant purple that was still soft enough to be more lavender than a royal purple, as the example. And they began to fade away. I tried to recognize the words, but they weren't clear enough for me to make that effort. And what the words kind of eviscerated gently, rather than sort of dripping or melting away, they sort of evaporated into a cloud, into smoke. And this sort of lavender smoke kind of swirled around this really hard place in the earth, this bevy of rocks and stones. And my sense was this was on the way towards a mountaintop. This was along the path or in the path of a mountain, perhaps indicating that you are reaching a significant place on your climb towards some goal or holistic vision of your power, your magic. And I've also pulled from the Crystal Spirit Oracle, the raw morganite. And what occurs to me as well on this card right away is the colors. So the chakras help someone like me who is very visual, that uses colors as a reference for what I'm feeling and or thinking. The soft, almost fleshy, slightly orange pink is describing to me the crown or the eighth chakra. So the spiritual purity that we associate with white that is infusing not only the heart, the soft pink, but also the sacral chakra, which is around our ability to experience things through our five senses, sensually, our creativity, our sexuality, how our passion infuses what we do. So this combination of the heart, of our sensual powers, our compassion perhaps, and this cleansing that is occurring as the result of our spiritual intervention and aspiration, right? The connection we have with the divine that we're always aspiring to, that is helping to cleanse our experience, is part of what immediately has struck me about raw morganite. But I must read a little bit about from the guidebook because I think it's helpful, or I think it will be helpful. And I usually read the relationship and the prosperity messages, but I'm actually going to read the meditation. But first, the essential meaning of this particular gemstone is the gift of vulnerability, self-forgiveness, sensitivity, empathy, compassion, and gentleness. So I'm very clear that this message is of a piece. This is referring to a gift. So I'm going to start with the general introduction because it really does describe my vision a little bit more clearly. And it starts, no matter how hard the rock, over time, water can alter it, making a path where there was none before. The appearance of this crystal is a sign that this is the time for you to embrace your sensitivity and gentleness. There's no need to be forceful when you can simply be open to what you are entitled to receive. Allow yourself to be vulnerable as this crystal spirit appears in raw, unpolished form, finding strength in knowing that you do not have to engage in battles or effort that serve no one. You're able to handle whatever dramas are in front of you right now. Your exquisite sensitivity allows you to see things as they are. The conscious universe will be gentle with you, and raw morganite spirit is here to let you know that you have a solid foundation beneath you. So express your gifts of empathy and compassion. You are stronger than you know. And the meditation continues. Morganite is a gentle, heart-cleansing stone that is valuable when we wish to release old patterns, wounds, and blockages that are obstacles to loving relationships with others and with ourselves. Meditation with the stone allows connection to divine love, which eases fear of vulnerability and allows us to be open to receiving love and abundance from others and from spirit. So I almost feel like this is it. This is really the message. But of course, I have pulled some other cards, and let's look at your present energy as this is being defined, the Sun card. Wow. This is all about happiness, but it's happiness, I believe, with purpose, and that purpose is joy. The happiness of the moment, the happiness we experience for one reason or another is fleeting, but the joy that it highlights is something that becomes a message to others. It is an illumination. It's an illumination around the abundance of the universe. This is something I talk about a lot. As a child of scarcity, this is a message that is always unfolding for me on a regular basis. The world has more than enough to supply every single inhabitant with all of their needs. So I do believe the Sun with the inner child, the eternal child, riding the horseback is really about uh, recognizing that all you need to heal this tender, gentle, vulnerable part of yourself that does not seek to be hidden, that does not seek to be masked or cloaked, that wants to declare, that wants to be vulnerable in order to experience that joy, that wants to connect automatically as it does with other life forms. And that includes, of course, other sentient beings, whether they be plant life, animal life, birds, life in the ocean, the planet itself, the ground itself, other elementals or spirits, energies from other realms. This all causes delight and connection. This is all another expression of love, the universal love that consciousness brings to our awareness that makes us safe, that signals to others that innocence, that love is a power. It is not just a weakness. It is not a wound. It is not something we have to hide. So this is so beautiful. In the past, the Ace of Cups. Oh boy. So yeah, I'm feeling that this is specific to the way in which you are now seeking a release from the past that is somewhat different. Being an empathetic, sensitive, aware person, I do believe this is a feeling and experience you've had for most of you for all of your life, even if that is erratic or intermittent. It's not clearly this transient sense of happiness. Underneath that is this openness, this childlike wonder and awe at the beauty of the universe. And that includes this ability to recognize love as a larger force than something that human beings exchange. Love is about the passionate alignment with what is good, what is protective, what is care, what is nurturing, and how that care includes you and naturally includes that energy you share with others. So I'm feeling like there's a real shift here in your understanding that letting go of the past and releasing yourself from negative energies that don't serve you is powerful and much to be appreciated and activated. But for many of you, there has been something missing, and that this sense of love has been missing. And I don't mean the love of the relationship inherent to itself. I'm talking about the compassion and the sense of unconditional love that our ability to forgive and thus release the past requires. It isn't just a simple mechanical making space by releasing the old so that we can allow what's new in. That is the mechanical and procedural process that many of us have come to be aware of is essential to growth, to moving on, to improving our experience. But it's about releasing those that have betrayed you, hurt you, that have angered you, that have rejected you, that have demeaned or denounced you, with real love, with real compassion, and even a sense of unconditional love, just in the way that your effort, your connection to them was intended as, or could have been intended as. So the expectations we bring to relationships prevents us from experiencing that unconditional love. It prevents us from receiving it and giving it. And this is giving you a deeper interrogation into your part of failures or disappointments or heartbreaks. In the future, the Six of Wands. I do feel this victory card is really about the way you understand that in order to heal from the past, you cannot hide from it. That it is through our ongoing relationships, how we sever them, how we say no to them, how we release them, is just as important as our ability to grow our relationships through active engagement. So we release the past just as we embrace the present through our conscious and active release or engagement in what is fair, what is right, our principles, what we know to be right for us, or what benefits us also benefits others. Here you're simply taking responsibility for your part of whatever you're working on. If that's a project, if that's a job, if that's a family or a community, you do your part to the best of your ability. And you do it so well, with so much humility, as this card can indicate a kind of ego flashiness. I do not believe that is your experience in this effort to engage with community, with those that you are co-creating with at any level. You are doing your part so well that you elevate the whole project. You bring a success in at least the process, as well as in moving the collective, the group, the team closer to the ultimate goal. So this is winning a battle or triumphing victory. This is not winning the war. Sorry to frame it in that language, but I do believe for many we unintentionally approach our effort, our responsibility as battle, as war, that we wage as good soldiers. And when we don't know how to stop, shift, or pivot the way we're giving that energy, I do believe this is saying that you don't need to fight. You don't need to overwork. You don't need to exhaust yourself to contribute a stellar effort to whatever it is you're working on. In fact, carving out your specific task, your role, your responsibilities is the surest way to create victory for yourself and for others. Don't take on more. Take on just what you need to do. Take breaks, and you will see the phenomenal impact of your power, your magic, your effort in ways that you can't possibly see when your nose is to the grindstone. I am going to clarify this. I am going to try to be brief because I believe the message has been delivered, but I you never know what more we can learn. The Ace of Cups is clarified by the World. The Sun card, I'm going to use just one clarifier. The Eight of Wands is the Sun, and the future is the Four of Cups. Wow. Okay, I'm feeling almost a kind of bubbly lightness to this energy, like something is kind of gently cooking up, almost like a steamy, cloudy feeling. So the World, clarifying the Ace of Cups. This is showing me that you have done the work, the preparation necessary to mount this a significant goal in your life. Whatever you have been working on, and for most of you, this really looks like an absolute resetting of the past, a letting it go. We never completely release all our memories, our associations, our promises, but this is a conscious healing from what the anger, the frustration, the bitterness, um, and this is showing you having done the work. Sometimes we think, oh, I've learned that lesson, and we can skip on. Even for those of you that absolutely have gotten this, you absolutely understand, you know this, you are enjoying the power of this in your life. You know that this never stops. We can clear away old stories always in an efficient way, in a deeply felt, authentic way that prepares us for standing before the world, showing our face, claiming our recognition and reward, recognizing that we have done the work, the great work in many cases, and we're ready to share those gifts in an even more impactful way with the world. In the present, the Sun is clarified by the Eight of Wands. Interesting, because Mercury is retrograde. We often think about this card in terms of movement, and this is movement towards success. So this is kind of giving me a counterintuitive feeling around the happiness and joy we feel in the process that we are activating, in the opening up of the inner child, the innocence, the vulnerability, the joy that we experience in this healing process is moving more quickly because of our ability to focus on these arrows are moving in the direction that indicates to me the past. Releasing that past is actually empowering us. It is not, as Mercury retrograde might indicate, as we turn towards the past, we are actually liberating ourselves. And this is, in many ways, it is in relation to the work of Mercury retrograde, a review, a reset, absolutely. But things are being released as we release the idea that we have to work harder, that we have to do more. Folks that you are seeking you. Resources you're looking for in order to achieve this new version of work, of service, of serving the public, of being in the public, presenting to the public, is happening at a rapid rate. And this is all to the setting up of a new project, a new effort, a new way of holding space where you hold less expectation. This is allowing the blessings to emerge, and you're being open to receiving that, because children understand that it is their right to receive. As we receive the sun every day or whenever we do, this is your right to grow. The universe is here to grow you in joy. And in the past, in the future, the immediate future, the Six of Wands clarified by the Four of Cups, I like this because it's putting an emphasis again on the way that you're holding space differently. And this is important because you're now open to receiving. You've been practicing aligning yourself with what supports you for a while. This has been part of whatever kind of spiritual practice you have, or the desire to personally develop and grow your capacity. You understand that you will work most effectively when you're valued for your gifts, when you're seen for your ability to do the work, when you're supported for that, when you are invited in, when you are welcome, not when there is a list of expectations that you're supposed to conform to. So this also reflects on your release of expectations of others. You're learning, because this is a hard lesson to learn. We live in a culture that has a script for everything. And there's nothing weird about that. Most cultures do. Maybe not as many as we have, because we live amongst so much abundance that is so poorly shared. But here you are learning to release your expectations as you have learned to release the expectations of others. So that when you enter into a project, a relationship, any exchange of energy, you allow the benefit to emerge. You allow the blessings to arise. You trust that the universe has something there. You trust that you and others can do the work to coax that blessing, to allow that magic to come forth, to emerge, and you are open to receiving it. This is an emphasis here on your openness to receiving this. In this deck, the blackbird, the crow, particularly, is looking directly at that cup, not looking away, looking at it, interrogating, is this a match for who I am now? I'm not who I was in the past. I don't have the same set of expectations, nor do I have the same rigid energies that now I allow to flow when the circumstance is correct. So I think this is indicating a tremendous way that you are working with others in a way that resonates with the trust you have in yourself. And this trust is not about the way you think, your thoughts. This is about trusting your intuition. You have the ideas. You will allow the ideas that are going to move your project, your ideas forward, your potential forward. But do you respect the information that the universe is giving you at every moment? Do you trust yourself and keep promises to yourself regarding your goals? Or do you bend them every time someone asks you for something or expects you to do something that isn't what in your wheelhouse, or is not your place, or you determine for whatever reason it's not for you? So there's a lot here, a lot here. I am going to finish with a crystal oracle because that's just the mood I'm in. And I pulled a Numite. Interesting. Here we have black countering these vibrant colors. So the key word is strength. I am strong in mind, body, and spirit. And in some ways, this can kind of symbolize the rock that lies underneath the stone tablet, or is comprising the stone tablet on which the beautiful violet message is written, and is visceral, moves into a mist, into a cloud, and kind of clings to the energy on the pathway up the mountain. So divine inspiration, signs that you're on the right path, are all around you as you continue to cleanse your heart, purify your effort. Thank you so much to all of you that are here. If you resonated with this message, please like it, subscribe to my channel. Until next time, namaste.